Hey family, the 4th was just the other day, and well, I didn't take off from work, but I did my job early, and they just happened to not have anything for me to pick up until the 5th. Well, that started a bidding war in my family. My nephew was like, hey, you can come over here. My brother was like, hey, you can come over here. I was like, Well, I can't bring the truck to my nephew's house, sorry. And my brother lived 12 miles from where I was. So I guess he won. So let me show you what I did in one of my favorite kitchens outside of my truck. Let's go. Hi, my name is T. I am not a chef. Actually, I'm a truck driver. And I don't drive food trucks, I drive a semi. What I'm about to do is show you how to do what I do on my truck. Welcome to your favorite new food show, Big Taste in a Small Space with me, T. So like I said, if you do your prep work early, the rest of the meal kind of comes together quickly. So, I cut up a little onion, cut it in half, take the skin off, paper skin, and then, you just thinly slice it. Did a whole one. The onion was kind of small, so, use the whole onion, put it on the side. Take some of my famous sweet peppers, little red, little yellow. Cut those up into rings. I figured I'm going to leave them in rings this time. I think it's going to make a nice presentation. Cut them up, put them on the side. This is my favorite pepper. Those are Scotch bonnet peppers. They kind of look like habaneros. They're about the same Scoville level as a habanero. And you can interchange them. I just really like the flavor of these things. And this time, because I'm cooking for other people, I did take the seeds out. Most of the time I cook with the seeds because the seeds encompasses all of the goodness of the plant, of the thing. Anyway, take the seeds out for less heat. So I'm putting some mushrooms in a pot. My brother's got these kind of Star Trek salt and pepper things. So I put some salt and pepper and some water in the mushrooms, put it on the stove. And I'm going to let that cook down. Because if you've never watched the show before, I'm going to tell you, mushrooms, although I have mushroom police in my family who always beat me up and try to arrest me for using mushrooms, some of them can't eat this seafood anyway. Anyway, mushrooms are like sponges. And if you're going to make a sauce or something using mushrooms, you don't want to start with the oil. You want to start with some water. Now, if you don't mind, sometimes you can just use straight oil, but if you want your mushrooms not to come out greasy, you start with some water. And you put that on and let it boil out. And once the mushrooms shrink and the water boils down, you take them out the pot. Now you got some nice mushroom juice in there. I put some onions in that pot with a little bit of olive oil. Don't worry, those mushrooms and the rest of that water, I boiled it down to about half. They're going back in the pot soon. But put some onion, put some garlic in there. Garlic only for about 30 seconds. The onion, about 2 minutes. You just want to soften them. And then we put this Thai chili paste. It says yum yum paste. It's a Thai chili. It's a wonderful thing. You let that cook off some with your onions, with your garlic. Just want to toast that a little bit. Then you put your mushrooms back into the pot. You get some coconut milk and you put that in the pot too. Yep, just 1 can will do. This dish was enough for 4, but there was only 3 people there. It's probably enough for more than 4. There was only 3 people there. So you cook your your coconut milk and your sauce and your Thai chili paste. Get some salt and pepper. One of the Star Trek things stopped working, so I had to use a regular salt shaker, twister, grinder, and you let that cook down. You want that on a medium high. You don't want it to really boil. You want it to simmer. And I had some celery already shredded up, so I put that in there. I put some of the pepper in, the hot pepper. Let that cook for a little while. I put the pepper in stages. So I want some of it to mellow. I want to bring just a little heat. I don't want to burn up my brother and sister-in-law. They can't take the heat like I can. So like I said, you don't want this to come to a rapid boil. You want it to come to a nice simmer. That looks nice. And while it's simmering away, every now and then, you go back and stir it. You don't want to scorch it. Just want it to come up real nice. There you go. Stir, stir, stir. You know how we do. I add a little shallot oil just to kick up the flavor a little bit. Add some crushed red peppers. Well, I'm in his kitchen, so I used his crushed red peppers. Stir that up some. And I put a pot on the stove for some noodles that I'm going to make. Let that heat up. Because once the seafood comes together, it's going to go quickly. So I had a couple clams, about 8 or 10 clams left over from some other day. I made some food. Put them in the pot and let them gently cook. You don't want them to cook fast. You just want them to gently cook, because if you cook them quick, they're going to turn hard, little rubber knots. If you slowly cook them, they're going to be soft. And once they open up, you can take them out the pot and put them aside. As soon as they open up, that's what you want to do. You want to take them out the pot. That's going to keep them soft and tender. So anytime you see one or two open, you take them out the pot, you put them aside. And the juice that they let off is going to also flavor this pot of Thai chili stuff, Thai curry. And now I just put some scallops in there. These scallops were kind of frozen. And the juice from the scallops is also going to flavor this pot. And it's going to add some water. Now I'm putting some king crab pieces that I cut up. So you don't need a whole lot to make a lot of people happy. But some cut up king crab leg parts. Put that in the pot. They were also frozen. And stir this kind of gently, because you don't want to beat up your scallops. You don't want to break up your scallops. Just want everything to get nice and warm. And because it was frozen, all that liquid ain't going to fill up your pot, because you really didn't have much liquid. You only had 1 can of coconut milk in there. So every now and then you stir, stir, stir. You just want it to heat up nicely. We're still on medium heat. And once your water is hot for your noodles, put some salt in there. Don't put the salt in early. Wait till it boils, then put the salt in there. That's looking kind of good. I'm not a chef, man. So stir, stir. Then I put my shrimp in there when everything else seemed like it was almost ready. When the temperature came back up. And yes, my shrimp was frozen too. And now on top I put my sweet peppers. And let that heat up nicely. You see, you're also putting the sweet peppers last because you don't want them to turn to mush. You stir them in there, make sure they get down where they need to be, where they can get some heat. I put a little bit of cilantro on top. I saved some for later on for garnishing. But that's going to give it some nice flavor too. Stir that in. Like I said, stir gently. Gently. See, my nephew's wife would not be able to eat this. Sorry, Jazz. I'll cook something for you, don't you worry. And then you put your clams back in the pot, because we want them to be as warm as everything else. And you're gonna cover it, thank you. And you're gonna wait for that to really get up to a nice temperature. Stir them in gently. Stir, make sure the clams get down. Make sure everything at the bottom comes to the top. And everything at the top goes to the bottom. Ain't this looking lovely? Yep. All right. When that's coming up to a nice temperature, I got my brother over there making some garlic toast. It's gonna go well with this meal. Well, when you see it steaming, bubbling, you see the steam there. Yeah. Once that is right, it's just about time to put the noodles in the pot. We gonna put the noodles in the pot? Where we gonna put the noodles in the pot? Noodles don't take long, so I think we putting the noodles in the pot. These are the noodles I used. They some new strange noodles, kind of flat, kind of wiggly, kind of nice. Put them in the pot. You can use whatever noodles you like, you know. I just like trying things. I'm experimental, mostly mental. So I put the noodles in the pot. You stir them, you check them, you make sure they're not going to stick. Yeah, check them, you stir them, you make sure they're not going to stick. You test them. Yeah, you can use a little bit longer. So, you check them out, you look them over. And when you stir your pot, put your food, now that's nice and hot. And by now, those noodles should be just about ready to serve up. So you get your bowl and you divide these noodles evenly amongst the people that you have there. 3 of us, hey, this'll do. And then you start serving up your seafood. Thai seafood soup-ish thing. Yeah, sure it is. Make sure everybody gets some of everything. And make sure you get some of something too. So you serve that up. Make sure they get some of that liquid, especially on those noodles, because the noodles will soak up that liquid. And you garnish with some of these other mushrooms, and bam, there you have it. Some Thai curry soup-ish thing, fit for a king and a queen. And well, me, their favorite court jester. Kitchen takeover. Big taste in a small space. I'm not in my space today, y'all. But it was good.